Hey guys, this topic we're going to discuss is going to be kind of like part 2 of budgeting. You know, we've been getting a lot of messages about, you know, how to budget in the relationship and what are some tips we can give you to use in your relationships about budgeting. The first rule or first tip would be don't hide any money. That would be the first one. Like, if you're going to start doing everything jointly, then you have to put all monies on the table. You can't have no separates at first. You know, everything has to come together. You have to get all the bills situated and what goes where as far as the money getting divided. That's probably going to be the most important tip, is don't hide any money from the other person.
And as far as living together, if you're in a relationship now and you're thinking about moving in together and living together, a tip that we have is when you're looking for a place, whether you're looking for an apartment or you're going to get your first home or whatever the case may be, we suggest that you look for an apartment or a place to live based on one person's income. And that's just in case anything happens. You never know what the future holds, and there's no guarantee unless you have a really solid savings account. But if you're just working and both of you guys are working, it's no way to really guarantee that one person may not lose their job, or, you know, because with the economy and the way things go, it would be best to find a place based on a single income. Even if you're a dual income household or multiple income household, it's best to find a place that you can afford with one income, because you never know what can happen and changes and things like that. You still want to be able to take care of your bare necessities, which is going to be a place to stay, your utilities and your bills and things like that, and also groceries and miscellaneous expenses. You want to be able to take care of those things with one income. And the way you can do this is based off of one income. Look for a place that is maybe about 30% of your income as far as rent, because if you become a single income household, you'll still be able to sustain your life and sustain your home, your apartment, your bills without having to go through foreclosure, eviction, and anything like that. So I think that's a really big tip, and a lot of times couples or individuals in general don't really think of that when they're going to look for a place. You know, of course, sometimes people may want a huge house, a huge condo or loft, or a really fabulous apartment. If the only way you can afford that fabulous home or apartment is with both of your incomes, and it's going to take 50% of your joint income, that's probably not a good idea to go with that place, because if anything were to ever happen, you'll be out of house and home, literally.
Like we said, you can revert back to our first budget video that we did. But as far as we go, because a lot of people ask, you know, how do we budget our money? The first thing is always put your bill money away. When our income comes in, we set aside our bill money, our rent, our groceries, phone bill, cable bill, you know, utilities. We put that aside.
After that, we put away savings.
Yes, we put some in the savings account. And then, depending on how much we put in savings at the time, the rest of the money is basically free money, you know, disposable income. And then we can do what we want, shopping, etc. And that's where we start at. You start with the bills. You don't start spending bill money. A lot of people do spend their rent money on things, and and just take like the late rent charge, and that's crazy, you know.
A lot of people spend their money before they get it. We don't do that. We don't spend our money before we get it. We don't say, okay, we're going to do this with the money and that with the money. For us, saving is very important, because you want to save for the future. You want to save for whatever it is you want to do, and you just want to save just to save for a rainy day. You really never know what's going to happen. Life is so unexpected at times, and even if you plan for things, it's hard to plan for something that you had no idea it was going to happen. So we always save, and that's really the first thing we do with our money. And then, you know, we set aside everything for our responsibilities, which are bills and everything like that. That comes first, and it should come first in your life as a couple or as an individual. If you're just now leaving the nest and you're going out to be on your own, saving and also just taking care of your responsibilities first is going to be a huge tip for budgeting. If you know that your rent is due or your mortgage is due, and you're looking at trying to buy a pair of Christian Louboutins, or you're looking at trying to go on a vacation and you haven't taken care of your bills first, back it up and put the money aside for your bills. Those shoes or clothes or that vacation or that fabulous night out will still be there a couple weeks from now once you have the money. Don't do things with your bill money, with your money that's supposed to be for your responsibilities, because you don't want to be digging yourself out of a hole. And that's what you'll find yourself doing if you don't take care of your bills and responsibilities first. And you'll also be jacking up your credit. We'll be doing a separate video talking about that and the importance of credit and things like that, but this is about budgeting.
You know, it's always good to put something to the side. You know, to those people who message us about, you know, their age, you know, being 19, 20, 21, and want to, you know, they wanted our advice on should they move in with their boyfriend or girlfriend. You know, if you're in a, you know, committed relationship and you feel that it's right and
you
both of y'all,
ready,
you feel you're ready for that, then it's always a good idea to do that. It's not a particular age. If you're mature enough to handle your responsibilities, then you can do whatever you want.
And another thing, because we get asked this all the time, I always get asked this on my personal YouTube channel, and it's how I'm able to shop and things like that. It's very simple. Working hard and making sure that we save money, and we also take care of our responsibilities as far as our bills and things like that first. Then, as my husband said, what's left after saving and also after paying our bills, that's basically our disposable income. And with our disposable income, that's when we treat ourselves, whether we treat ourselves to a vacation or just to like a trip to Atlantic City, a trip to the casino, a trip to a hotel and staying somewhere nice away from home for the weekend, and also shopping as far as clothing, shoes, accessories, and the things that we both like to do. That's how we do it. It's from working, it's from saving, and then just planning out things. If your income doesn't allow for you to go out and buy a $600 pair of shoes, but you want that pair of shoes, if your budget only allows you to say buy a $100 pair of shoes right at that moment, if you really and truly want the $600 pair of shoes, then you save your money. Rather than buying a few $100 pair of shoes or buying $100 pair of shoes every few weeks, just save that money until you have enough to buy what it is that you want. That way you're not breaking your budget, you're not spending or living beyond your means, you're just saving and budgeting for that particular item that you want. And that's what we do. We do a lot of saving and we do a lot of budgeting. If I know I want something that is typically a splurge for myself, then I will say, okay, I'm going to cut back on, you know, shopping at H&M. I'm going to stay away from Aldo and from Sam Edelman and Jeffrey Campbell for a little while because I really want these YSL pumps. And that's what I do. So you have to do it according to your income. Don't try to live beyond your means or try to purchase things that you know you can't afford, or you know in the long run it's going to end up hurting you and causing you to be struggling for a couple weeks or a couple months. Just purchase within your means, and if something you really want and it's a splurge item, then save for that item. Cut back on buying, you know, cheaper things, and just put that money to the side, put it in your savings account, or have a little jar at home or something where you say, okay, I'm not going to buy these Aldo shoes. I'm going to put this $80, $90, $100 into the jar, into my YSL fund, and then do that, because it's not difficult at all. It's all about budgeting and saving. My husband is a huge budgeter. He's always like calculating things, and that's what he does, and that's what I expect from him. He always knows how much money we have in our checking accounts and also in our savings account. He knows how much money we have in our vacation fund or our anything. He always knows how much money we have because he's always on top of the money. And in a relationship, someone has to be on top of the money. Me personally, I know how much money is coming in, and you know, I know somewhat how much is going out, but I'm not really on top of the money. But where I lack in being on top of the money, my husband definitely picks up. So it's a give and take, and it's a partnership. He's always on top of the money, and I know I can count on him to be on top of the money. So someone needs to be the money person and be on top of the money in a relationship, just so that you know that you're always on track with your money.
So, like she said, everything she said was right. Yeah, so I mean, you can comment on this video, you know, if you have any more questions that we couldn't answer or didn't answer, and we'll get back to you like we always do. You know, if you have tips for people out there, then leave them in the comment. You know, they'll get approved and everybody can see your tips for budgeting in a relationship, or budgeting as you know, a single person. You know, we want your tips on budgeting. So hit us in the comments. We thank you for watching our video, and until the next one, we'll see y'all later. Bye.